Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda, and today I have for you my November bullet journal setup flip through. I don't do this on camera just because I follow the same basic format. Each month I found a system that works really well for me. But I thought it would be nice just to see how I use my bullet journal, not as a planner, but more to track my reading progress for the month as well as my YouTube videos. So next year I don't plan to continue on with a separate bullet journal, but I am moving into a traveler's notebook, and I'm gonna have a dot grid insert to basically continue on doing what I've been doing in this journal. Really quickly, this is the Redco bullet journal. I bought it off Amazon, and it's in like the color ocean or something. If I can find it, I will link it down below. It does have kind of thin pages, so there is a little bit of shadowing, like you can see my book stacks in the background there. But overall it works pretty well for me. You just kind of have to pick and choose the markers that you're using so that it doesn't really bleed through as much. So the markers that I have found to be the best for the bullet journal, or at least this bullet journal, I have these Prang fine line markers from, where did I get them? Joann's. I'm not sure where else you can get them, but these are something I picked up quite a while ago for scrapbooking, and I've just had them in my collection ever since. They're a nice fine point that works really well for making semi-delicate lines and, you know, writing titles and stuff. And then I also have this Zig Memory System Millennium. I don't know the name of this one, but it is a pigment ink. It's waterproof, and it's just in black, and it's a 0.5 or 0.5 fineness. It's really small, and these I've had in my scrapbooking collection for a while as well. The black one is my favorite to use, just to draw like the fine lines and stuff for borders and whatnot. So as you can see, my theme for the month was orange, red, and brown. Those are perfect fall colors for me, and then just a basic black to separate a little bit and not to be too overwhelmed with the colors. But this is my cover page here. I just write the name of the month, and I've been doing this basic design for a couple months now, and I really like it. I'm not very much of an artist, so doodling and stuff is not really my strong point, and I want something to be very functional versus artistic. So just having nice straight lines and crisp edges works really well for me. So I did this font with my first letter. I don't know if it's got a specific name or anything, but it's got swigglies and it looks kind of fancy, and then just a basic capitalized font for the rest of the letters. So the second page is to mark my TBR. I do a separate video on my channel for my TBR video, so if you want to see a little bit more in depth, I will leave that link down below. But these are a couple of the books I have planned to read for the month, and then when I finish it, I'm currently reading The Woman in the Castle via audiobook, so I've got it outlined, and then when I finish it, I'll end up coloring in that square. So I've got an audiobook column, an ebook column, and a physical book column, and it's just interesting for me to see what my preferred, I guess, way of consuming books is. It's usually audiobooks because I have the most time on my plate for audiobooks. And then I've been doing this really basic book stack, or standing book stack, I guess you could call it. Usually I've been doing just one, or if I've got a readathon, I'll do a separate page for a readathon and a separate page for the rest of the month. But I thought this month it would be interesting to split it between audiobooks and physical books. So for me, physical books are going to be ebooks and physical books, but audiobook is just an entirely different format. You listen instead of read. So I thought it would be interesting to just kind of fill in as I finish books and color in. And then here is my YouTube schedule and my video plans page. So spoiler for what I've got planned for the beginning of the month there. But I upload my videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And once they're uploaded, I color in the square at the bottom. And then just to kind of track, I guess, my system, my routine, what days have been open for me to film and edit. I mark those just to see if there's a specific pattern, if I can adjust it in any way to make it work better for me, and those sorts of things. So orange is for filming, red is for editing, and brown is for uploading. And same with my books. I just go in color order. So orange is audiobook, red is ebook, and brown will be physical book. And then just because I've got this awkward space down at the bottom, I found it's nice to track readathons. So I'm going to be participating in the Fall into Fantasy readathon, which goes from November 18th through 25th. And then my video plans. So this helps me track what I want to do for the month. Whether I've filmed it, whether I have uploaded it or edited it, and whether it's been uploaded, so I can see what pieces still need to be done and work into my schedule. That way I'm staying on top of everything. So this has been working really well for me, and it's something I definitely want to continue in some way. I don't know if it'll be like a bullet journal format or a lined paper format, but some sort of format in my traveler's notebook for next year, just because this is really simple and good system for me. And then the last two pages I have here is the Fall into Fantasy readathon. I just heard about this the other day, and it was after I had already created my bullet journal for the month, so that's why it's not in with the reading section. But basically right here you have the 8 prompts for the week, and then here I've got a book stack just so I can fill in what books I read throughout the week. This is a readathon where you can have a book work for multiple prompts. You can read 8 different books if you want. I think the goal is to read at least 4 books during the week, but because it's the last full week before my term ends for school, I'm only planning to read 3. I've got 1 physical book and 2 audio books. And I believe my TBR video for this is going to go up after this video. But if you want, you can go search my videos for it. Or if you don't want to look for that or watch it, I am planning to read The Hazelwood for read a new fantasy book, read a book in a new fantasy series, and read a booktube recommendation. And then I've got a TBL shelf warmer, Strange the Dreamer. It's been on my... Actually, I just got it kind of recently on audiobook, but it's been a book that I've been looking for the UK edition cover for quite some time. When I went to Scotland last year, I tried to pick it up at Waterstones, but I think the paperback copy was coming out, so they were kind of all sold out at the time. And then I've been debating whether or not to ask some of my UK coworkers to let me deliver one to their house and then them bring it when they come to the States to bring it with them for me. But before I get too crazy and ask people to do things like that, I'm going to listen to it on audiobook this month and make sure I like it. And then I get my next Audible credit on the 10th, which is right before this week. So I'm going to pick up Music Nightmares when that comes out and read it as my fantasy sequel. So that is it for the month of November. And then just to show you another section I've got here in the back, this is where I record my book wrap up. Oh boy. This back page is where I record my book wrap up information. So like you can see for October here, each audiobook I listened to, I wrote down the time, the rating, and totaled it up. And then for my physical books or ebooks, I write that below. Excuse me. The number of pages, total number of pages, and then I'll average out the star rating. So I just kind of keep a running list as I finish books for each month. So this is what I've got so far going for November. So that is it for my flip through. It's, like I said, a very basic system. I don't draw any doodles or anything like that. But this is what works for me. So hopefully it gives you some ideas of ways that you can utilize a bullet journal if you're not necessarily an artistic individual like myself. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will chat with you down in the comments until my next one. Bye!